Lights, camera, debate, ignite, passion strong under the spotlight. Tune in for the clash, tune in for the spark. The critic and the cynic light up the dark.
Welcome back to The Critic and the Cynic. This one's called Debbie Macomber's Joyful Mrs. Miracle. What? Huh?
Okay, I feel like we're missing something. I've heard that name.
What? Debbie Macomber?
Yeah, like, is she an author?
Debbie Macomber is a writer. She wrote it.
I get that, but
Did she do other movies that are called Debbie Macomber's? Yes, she did. But
so
it's not.
She's got a whole damn universe.
She does.
Got it.
She does, but it's not something that we have to go back with, I don't think. I think it's just that because she's a writer and she wants her name on the title.
I really think she's like a novelist, though. I've heard that name, and I would not have heard of any of those movies.
Oh, you think that they adapted it from a book?
I think she is an author.
Oh, I do see this, though. In 2014. Oh, yeah, novel. It says novel.
Yeah, she is a romance novelist.
I do notice in 2014, there was a movie called Mr. Miracle. And this one's called Mrs. Miracle.
Oh, good.
Is there any connection? I don't know. I don't think it's connected.
Thank goodness, because I'm not watching 7 of these stinkers.
Yeah, right? So we're just going to say that she's a novelist. She just ended up writing a book or a story that just so happened to have a similar title as something that they wrote 10 years ago. There was a movie that she wrote, or a book that she wrote, called Mr. Miracle back in 2014, and 10 years later, we're looking at Joyful Mrs. Miracle. Coincidence, right?
Let's hope.
Let's hope. If it's not, then they're doing a piss poor job of telling you should probably know what that other one is.
Yeah, they are not connecting the dots.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and just say, okay, Debbie Macomber's Joyful Mrs. Miracle. We're just going to call it Joyful Mrs. Miracle.
Well, yeah.
Because that's the title of the movie.
She's trying to pull an Alfred Hitchcock or an
M.
Night Shyamalan. Yeah,
except she's also not directing it. Alfred Hitchcock had an M. Night Shyamalan have the fact that they write and direct.
That's fine, but she's definitely trying something here, but whatever.
Yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and... We've got the tagline is, she might just be what they need to succeed.
Okay, then.
Whatever. Let's go ahead with the premise. 3 siblings return home at Christmas to honor their late grandmother's wishes, and with the help of Mrs. Miracle's magic, they work through family conflicts while one rekindles a past romance.
Sounds pretty basic to me.
Well, it sounds like there is actually. She must be some kind of...
Fairy godmother?
You could say fairy godmother. I was immediately thinking Mary Poppins. Hold on.
Oh, come on.
Whoa.
I am not watching these 4 movies.
It's 5. They just
5?
didn't include the one we just added.
No, forget it. I'm not
Mrs.
doing
Miracle. Call me Mrs. Miracle. Mr. Miracle. Mrs. Miracle Christmas. And then Joyful Mrs. Miracle.
I'm not doing it.
Well, you gotta watch the Joyful one.
I fine, but I'm not going back and watching these. I'm not doing it.
Well, that one actually has the other aunt.
I don't care who's in it.
I'm not doing it. God. So basically, they screwed up because it is supposed to be a part of a collection. One of... Okay, so
yeah, we got James Van Der Beek. We've got the mom from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yep.
I mean, you got some famous people in these movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. This one, maybe not so much, unless I'm missing something. Mr. Miracle doesn't seem to have anything.
That's fine, but don't even ask me to watch the rest of these.
What if you love this?
If I love it, we can revisit that some other time. But no.
Yeah, alright.
Actually, these are all based off of her books, by the way, because I'm looking at Mr. Miracle, a Christmas novel.
Yeah.
She is 76 years old.
Good for her, Jeebus.
Alright then.
2 hours later.
That was excruciating.
You know, I regret using my veto.
Mm-hmm.
Do you regret using your veto?
No, because I could not handle the singing.
So you would still do...
Oh, yeah.
A Chris... Okay.
Okay, I could not handle that one.
So you've decided that, okay.
I wish you hadn't used your veto, because I would have rather watched the on-call people than this.
Yeah.
Uncle garbage.
Yeah, I feel like there should have been another lifeline where it's like you can you can veto your veto. But just and you can only use that once.
What,
you know?
that could have been called the just kidding. Just kidding. I'll go
Oh
back
yeah,
and I'll
yeah,
watch
yeah.
this.
Just kidding. We'll go back and we'll watch it instead of this. Holy crap! So, as you could probably tell, it was not a great time. In fact, it sounded like a movie that would just never end. It was like the Energizer Bunny. It just kept on going and going and going.
Which is ironic, because there was no energy at all in this effing movie.
Weirdly enough, it kept on going even though the energy was dead. Yes. So yeah, it was Mary Poppins, just without the fun, without the music.
Any fun. There is no fun at all.
Right, without the music. It's about a freaking will. And I guess bringing siblings, the grown siblings together. I don't care. It was boring, and yeah, she had a magical purse that she could reach, shoulder length in and pull out anything that she so desires, but do you care? No.
That was just weird.
So, I mean, I imagine the rest of the Mrs. or the Mr. Miracles, I'm guessing it's all the same idea that this, I guess in the other books or the other stories, it's an angel of some sort. I didn't really get that vibe from this. It was just a random person because she wrote a book, right? She had a book that she had published 20 years ago where she looked the same. But how do you get a book published if you're a magical creature? It was dumb. And honestly, I checked out pretty early on mentally. We had it playing the entire time. I kept on looking up to see if anything else was happening and trying to focus. But I didn't care about the characters. I certainly didn't care about what was going on in their lives. The romance that was in there, quote-unquote romance, I figured it would happen. But I certainly didn't feel any chemistry between any of the characters. So it just felt like a completely random, insanely boring movie.
Agreed.
But we're supposed to give it 3 positives.
No, not if you use your crap button.
That's right. I used my crap button, but you didn't, so you still have to give it 3 positive things.
I don't have to give it 3 positives.
Unless you use your crap button, and you can.
God.
If you use your crap button, I'll say you don't have to say 3 things about it. But I used my crap button on this one because it was just awful. But how about you? Let's have some positives.
All right, there was no singing.
The absence of something can't really be a positive.
Oh, yes, it can.
Oh, that's like the same positive in like anything. Okay, no singing. What else?
I got nothing.
Maybe you should use the crap button.
One of the guys, the short one, was kind of cute.
Which one was that?
I don't know, the short one that was trying to embezzle money. I don't know what the heck he was doing.
You're talking about like the
One of the
little
brothers.
leprechaun-looking brothers?
One of the brothers, I don't know.
He certainly, no, he was, okay, whatever.
The old lady in the wheelchair was kind of funny.
Okay.
Except for I didn't quite understand why she wouldn't give the speech, because she's like, I can't keep my language in check, and yet she didn't swear in the entire movie, and I'm just like, what are you talking about?
Well, she can't keep her language in check because she's old, and you know how the language is the first to go. I don't know.
Okay, so that's it. That's all I got.
The only positive I probably would have given it was their very basic idea that they were borrowing from Mary Poppins. I think that there is promise there. You could take something like that, and there's a lot of different directions you can go with it, with a character like Mary Poppins. No, she's not Mary Poppins, but she's Mrs. Miracle, which is the same thing. So there was a lot of different ways you could take that, but they just ultimately decided not to, because they're like, let's talk about a will and like settlements. And if anybody actually sits here and they watch the movie and they enjoy it, I genuinely want to know where they got that.
I think they would only enjoy it if they had never seen a good movie before.
It's the people that are born into watching Hallmark movies and they never watch anything else, though I have met people like that.
Well, yeah, because maybe they're not allowed to.
Yeah,
and
sheltered
then
people for sure.
And then they get into the real world, and then those regular movies are just like,
Oh no!
I can't watch
God.
that. That's horrible. That is just unsavory, and then they go back to
It's
Hallmark.
it's crazy. It's crazy because, like I said in the past here, that Hallmark seems to do nothing but copy other movies, and I would love to say that's not what they're doing here because it is part of a series. It's an adaptation from a book series from this Debbie Macomber, but it's obviously Mary Poppins.
Well, and a little bit of Romeo and Juliet, or not Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, Shakespeare.
No, like star-crossed lovers, because in the beginning she was like the rich hoity-toity one, and he was working at her grandma's house or whatever, and everybody was like, it'll never work out, it'll never work out. Rich girls don't like boys who work in the stables. I don't know.
Oh, now we're talking. The Lifetime original Christmas movie. I don't like boys who work in the stables. Okay. Anyways, what would you rate it?
0.
And you're still not giving it a crap
Okay,
button?
fine. Like, alright, 25. We'll do 25.
That's nice. I'm gonna go with 0. Because it was my crap button. But you know what's interesting? This week, we used all 3 freaking buttons. We started with Christmas on Call, which we vetoed, or I vetoed. And then we went on to 3 Wise Men and a Baby, which you used your unicorn button on both of those movies. And then we got all the way to the end of the week where we watched Joyful Mrs. Miracle, which I used my crap button on. We used all of the buttons this week.
I have to hold on to my crap button.
There's only one button left. Hillary the Cynic still has her crap button.
How many of these stupid movies do we have left?
Like, I don't know, 15? I'm not sure.
Exactly. There's got to be another crap in there. I don't...
Pretty sure that at least 70% of them are all going to be craps, but how crap is the question? Is it going to be full-on crap like Mrs. Miracle, or is it going to be like a little bit of a dingleberry? I guess we'll find out. But this was it. This was the 4th episode of the podcast.